excited. I know that you probably haven't had time to look at the afternoon paper, but there is an announcement about the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce has signed a lease with the city for property, and we're just so excited that we're going to be located in the new Chamber building on the corner of Conover Drive and West Freeway. This is a real wonderful thing that's happened to the Chamber, and we salute Harry King, who is the president of the Grand Prairie Quality of Life Foundation, Fritz Heinke, Mr. Bowles, who was a former mayor of Grand Prairie, and all of those that had a part in this, and we're very excited about that. Also, the Chamber of Commerce, Chuck, is going to have a very exciting general membership meeting. This is going to be on April the 20th at 12 o'clock noon. We want to invite everyone that's interested in the community, and really, if you'd like to come and hear Mr. Willis tell what is going on in Grand Prairie, come to the Sheraton Safari April the 20th at 12 noon and pay the price for your meal, and I know that you'll really enjoy it. Chuck, what else do you have, young man?
Ruthie, let's start right off and tell our viewers about a very important event that they don't want to miss this Thursday here in Grand Prairie. April the 21st and Friday the 22nd, the Grand Prairie High School Jeepettes will present their annual spring show, and this year it's called Travel Through Time. It will begin at 8 p.m. at the Grand Prairie High School H.H. Chambers Auditorium, and admission, you can hardly beat this, Ruthie, for $1 for students and $2 for adults. And then following on Saturday, April the 23rd, if you're interested in an all-you-can-eat dinner for only $3, just listen up. It's going to be sponsored by the Grand Prairie DeMolay organization. It'll be held from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. at Jackson Middle School in the cafeteria. If you'd like more information, maybe to reserve about 50 or 60 tickets, just call 263-6126. And Ruthie, while we're on the subject of young people, let's pass along special congratulations to Grand Prairie High School Science Fair winners. For 1983, Michael Bowman, National Aeronautics and Space Administration Award, went to Michael Bowman for his project. The sponsor was Bill Gottwald. Tracy Sloan won a special award from the Dallas County Veterinary Association, and that was sponsored by Vernell Curtis. And then Jack Debrell got honorable mention in the Health and Medicines Division, also sponsored by Vernell Curtis. Ruthie?
And you know, she's a super science teacher at Grand Prairie High School, and we certainly do salute all of these that participated in this wonderful thing. Also, we'd like to give congratulations to the new officers of the Grand Prairie Independent School Board of Trustees. Congratulations to Judy Johnson, who is the new president, and to Steve Overton, who is the vice president, and to the secretary of the board, Dan Clemson, who is also the producer of It's Happening in Grand Prairie. Salute, Dan. We think that you'll do real well if you'll just follow the leaders. Also, we'd like to announce that there's going to be a Parliamentary Institute Saturday, April the 23rd at the Republic State Bank on Lancaster Street in Fort Worth. Now, all of you newly elected officers, presidents, vice presidents, and secretaries that really want to know about parliamentary procedure, call us at 264-2234 if you'd like more information about this. Don't forget, this week, the 17th through the 23rd, is National Library Week. Also, Thursday, there's going to be a reception at the Grand Prairie Memorial Library, sponsored by the Friends of the Library, and there'll be a book sale all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So go to the library and pick out some of the used books and records and tapes and pictures and things, and help the Friends of the Library so that they can buy more materials for the Grand Prairie Memorial Library. And Chuck, you have a real exciting guest for us, don't you?
Ruthie, anyone who has been to the Dallas-Fort Worth Medical Center Grand Prairie, known in years past as the Grand Prairie Community Hospital, has known about the expansion program that we've had going on really for 2 or 3 years now. It's time for a grand opening, and here to tell us all about that very, very special grand opening is a man who's been our guest here on It's Happening in Grand Prairie before, the Director of Public Relations for the hospital. I'm going to let you correct that. Mr. Gino Zangaro. Gino, welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much, Chuck. Thank you very much. The correction is that I'm the Director of Education and Training at the hospital.
Director of Education and Training. Okay. Well, you're here representing the hospital tonight. I noticed in the newspaper here we had National Volunteer Week, April 17th through 23rd. Ruthie, we ought to be officers in that group. Do you know it?
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes, indeed. Okay. We know that the hospital is run a great deal by volunteer staff. Why don't you take just a minute, Gino, and the floor is yours. Tell our 75,000 viewers out there about all the great things that are happening in your grand opening and all.
Well, in my opening comments, I'd like to make a comment about the volunteers themselves. There is an area in the hospital that's not controlled or in some way indulged in by the volunteers. They cooperate in every aspect. They do many things that are almost unaccountable for. They're there all the time when needed, and they're probably one of our largest assets in the hospital itself. As you know, from the time you hit the front door, you're in some way affiliated or associated with the volunteer service.
They are right on the front desk. You see them in the gift shop and all over the hospital.
Today, matter of fact, I saw a special recognition in the dining room for the volunteers. Their acknowledgments don't come that easily, but when we do acknowledge them, we try very best.
Very good. All right. Now, what about the cat scanner? Since we've got a little kitty cat around the Edwards household, what is this cat scanner you all have?
Well, really, the CAT scanner, in layman terms, you might think of it as a 3D X-ray. It's a very expensive piece of machinery, but one that has been such a tremendous asset to medical diagnosis. To have one in our particular area is really a boon to our medical facility as well as the community because of the great coverage the CAT scanner is able to present for the physician and the client, the patient.
So it's really a total body scanner of some sort.
Yes.
Instead of cats, they use it on real life.
Exactly.
They use it on people, you bet.
Okay.
Gino, are you going to tell us about this health fair you're involved in this week?
Yes, I'd be more than happy to. This will be our fourth presentation of the health fair in this particular area. In the past, we have probably serviced between 15 and 1,800 people. Of the 15 to 1,800, I would, approximate number would be probably 50 people that needed a good, thorough checking up after that checkup. The fair itself reveals situations that normally go undetected. Glaucoma, for example, or a high glucose level in the blood, hearing defects, vision defects, blood pressure defects. Those are all detectable in presentations such as this.
Where
And
is
of
it gonna
course, they're
be?
all free.
Where is it going to be located? That's what we need to
At
get at.
121 Church Street in Grand Prairie is the Grand Prairie Community Center.
And when?
Ah, okay. At 8 o'clock Thursday morning, this coming Thursday morning, from 8 o'clock to about 4:30. We do have to get people out of there by 5 o'clock or 5:15 at the very latest. So we're going to try to close the doors about 4:30 because it does take some time, and people that do come to the health fair should be prepared to spend some time making the full gamut.
Chuck, didn't we cover that fair a couple of 3 years ago where they took your blood and you fainted?
I just got a little pale, that's all.
Yes,
Really.
that's it. Yes,
Okay.
that was a real fun thing for Store Cable TV to send us to that, wasn't it?
Okay, Gino, aside from the health screening fair, let's talk about that grand opening toward the end of the month. Can we do that?
Yeah. It's going to be 1 week later, actually. It'll be the following Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we will conduct a mini health fair at the hospital and give you the cook's tour of the new facilities, which we're quite proud of. The dust is starting to settle, and we're starting to show off.
Do you have a
now.
time that they're actually going to cut the ribbon on Friday, April 29th?
I'm not definitely sure of what particular time that's going to be.
Watch the
Chuck,
paper
but it'll
then.
be an early evening presentation, I'm sure.
Gino, I'd like to know if you have anything to do with this Speakers Bureau little booklet that has come out since you're into education. You all are certainly projecting a wonderful image doing all of these good things. This was handed to us at the Federation of Women's Club last week, and they say that you all are just really ready to go and come out and speak. Do they send you out on these speaking engagements?
Upon request. This is a tool of Ginny Anderson, who's a special project director. She composed this piece of information, and it is readily available for anybody upon request, and the speakers are more than happy to be called upon.
That's good. That'll help some program chairman when their program falls through at the last
You know, we
moment.
really do have some good public speakers here in Grand Prairie.
We really do.
And it's good to know that the hospital is providing our citizens with, you know, a lot of civic groups and clubs. If you've ever been a program chairman, excuse me, for a group here in Grand Prairie, you know that it's challenging every once in a while to get good qualified speakers. So thanks to the hospital for a new speakers bureau.
One more comment before we go.
Yes, sir.
Leave me. I spoke with Mayor Grisham this afternoon, and she related to me that tomorrow evening at the council meeting, she will ask for Thursday, the 21st, to be proclaimed Health Fair Day in Grand Prairie.
Excellent.
Very good.
Very good.
Ruthie, I'm going to try and make that health screening fair again. I don't think we can get our It's Happening in Grand Prairie cameras there again, but I think we'll go ahead and make that. It's an event that's good for all of Grand Prairie, and we encourage all of our viewers to take part in the health screening fair.
Are you making any predictions about smoking and any of these things, Chuck, that you have to offer?
Not at the present time, Ruthie. As a matter of fact, just this past weekend, I was contacted by the International Congress of Fat Persons to be their local president here in Grand Prairie, but I'll get back with you later on the quitting smoking and maybe quitting eating. You know what my doctor told me to do? Try getting up earlier.
Oh, dear.
Like before dessert.
Before dessert. That will help.
All right.
Gino, we thank you very much for coming back to visit with us once more. It's always a delight to have you on our program, and we know that you're very involved at the hospital and with civil defense, and we salute you for your contributions in both of those areas, and especially during the last simulated Holocaust that we had here in Grand Prairie. We thank you for your time, and Grand Prairie is appreciative, I know.
Definitely my
and Chuck,
pleasure.
Shall we be right back in a few minutes, or do you have something else?
I've got a couple of fine Civil Air Patrol cadets that we need to talk to.
We'll
be right back. Visitors to the Dallas Naval Air Station may visit any of the active units of the United States Navy, Marines, Army National Guard, or Air National Guard, and may completely miss the installation of the Crusader Squadron Civil Air Patrol at the Dallas Naval Air Station. With us on our set at this time are two distinguished gentlemen that make it a part-time job of being in the Civil Air Patrol as volunteers. Let's see, we have Ronnie Johnson. Ronnie, what grade are you in, and where do you go to school here in Grand Prairie?
I'm in 7th grade, and I go to Lee Middle School.
7th grade, you go to Lee Middle School, okay? And you're an Airman First Class, right?
I'm in Airman 2nd class.
Airman 2nd Class, all right. And that, that mean you're Airman 2nd Class up here, right?
Yeah, one stripe.
One stripe, okay. And with Ronnie, we have Airman First Class, Chris Alvarez. Chris, where about you go to school?
I go to Grand Prairie High School.
Grand Prairie High School.
Yes,
What
sir.
grade?
I'm in 9th grade, sir.
9th grade. How about that? All right, now I'm going to go back to Ronnie here. How long you been Civil Air Patrolman?
About 5 months.
5 months. So you're fairly new with the program then, right?
Well, not really.
Not really. Okay. How about you, Chris?
I've been in for about 9 months.
9 months. Okay. How you like it?
It's pretty, yeah, I like it. It has military
Discipline? Uh-huh.
discipline and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, at this early age, you know, I didn't learn to march until I was in the Gopher Band up there in the 10th grade. Is that something you learn to do in the Civil Air Patrol, a little marching?
Yes, you march military style.
Okay, and what all, Ronnie, back to you, what all do you have to do to become the Air Cadet of the Month?
Well, you have to be sharp. You have to go to all the meetings, and you have to have good discipline. You have to be able to march good and stuff like that.
Okay, very good. Chris, would you recommend the Civil Air Patrol to other people that are watching out there?
Yes, I would.
All right. If I was, say, a 8th or 9th grade student in one of the Grand Prairie schools, how would I go about becoming involved in the Civil Air Patrol? Do you have a phone number we could call, or what's the best way to do that?
Well, the first way is when someone talks to you about it, and you know, if you like it, you just go out there with them, and then they go out there and get recruited.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, they'll get their rank, and they could tell other people, and it just goes on and on.
Very good. Ronnie, what do your friends feel like as far as the Civil Air Patrol is concerned when you talk to them about it?
most of them wouldn't want to be in it because most of them are a bunch of clowns. And,
You got to remember they're watching now, Ronnie.
and some of them have liked it, and I've got 2 to join.
You have recruited 2 people, huh? That's
Yes.
very good. That means that you've been speaking highly of the Civil Air Patrol and been doing some recruiting. And you know what? That's what keeps good organizations going, like the Texas Air National Guard and the Civil Air Patrol. Thinking enough about what you're doing to recruit more people. Well, I'll tell you what, maybe sometime we can take our It's Happening in Grand Prairie cameras out to the Civil Air Patrol and find out more about what y'all do, okay? We need to know more. Do you actually, perhaps on down the road, I'm sure that maybe both of y'all are thinking about going into the military, perhaps?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You gonna be a fighter pilot?
Yes, sir.
All right, how about you, Chris?
Probably the same thing, sir.
All right, very good. That means you're gonna have to hit it real hard on the math. All right? You're in high school, right? High grades in the math?
Yes, sir.
That includes algebra, trigonometry, and geometry, right?
Yes,
Okay. All right. Well, let's just make a date right now in 10 years when you graduate from UPT down there in Del Rio. You just come on back and tell us all about what it's like flying that T-38 Talon, huh? All right. Gentlemen, congratulations to you. Now, am I understanding it right? We've got the Air Cadet of the Month as Ronnie Johnson. Is that right, Ronnie?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Chris, have you ever been bestowed this honor before?
No, sir.
I'm going to put you in line for it next month, okay? We thank you for coming out here and telling us about the Civil Air Patrol. And just know that even though we don't get to see you very often, we're proud of you, okay?
Thanks.
Now here's Ruthie with some very, very special guests. Don't laugh, Ruthie.
Thank you very much, Chuck, for introducing the Civil Air Patrol Air Cadet of the Month, Ronnie Johnson. And I did want to tell our viewing audience that we still have a salute for our very own Chuck Edwards, because he is still the reigning Airman of the Year in Texas with his group. And Chuck, you didn't even mention that when we talked with these airmen, and I thought maybe you might want to impress them a little so that they'd work a little bit harder for Airman of the Year for Texas, for all of Texas.
All right. Well, Ruthie, I'll tell you what, that's part of the unknown side of Chuck Edwards, and we're just going to leave that a mystery to all of our viewers
The
out there.
very modest Chuck Edwards has relinquished the head chair here for a moment so that we can bring you a very special young man that is working on an Eagle, and that is an Eagle Scout Award. Now, prior to all of the activities that came about Saturday, in which he was one of the main supporters, we would like to tell you that Keep America Beautiful month and week and day. Thank you, Dan Clemson. How nice of you to help. Keep America Beautiful Day and week and month is being celebrated in the month of April. It's been very exciting to know that Keep America Beautiful Day was really celebrated in Grand Prairie in a special way with Mount Garbage. And Mike Holbrook, we're very delighted to have you with us as our guest. And I know that Chuck has just lots of good things to ask you about what really went on down at the dump this last Saturday. Chuck?
I've got to know. I saw Ruthie's notes on Mount Garbage. Mike, what happened? I know the scouts were involved. I saw a little piece of information in the paper about it. Why don't you tell our viewers and bring them up to date on how Mount Garbage got to the city landfill site?
Well, the first thing we had to do who is me and Miss North, Nancy North, I had to meet with her. We had to map out the city. Then I had to do probably about 12 hours of phone calls to get a lot of people there. And I got a hold of the Cub Scouts and some Boy Scouts, and we finally set up for, no, hold on. At the 9th, we set up for they sent out brochures to tell everybody about we're going to pick up their garbage, old furniture, big appliances. Then the 16th, everybody got their own trucks and stuff, and we sent them out on sheets. And they went and picked them up, and the thing got bigger. The Mount Garbage got bigger and bigger until it probably was about 50 feet high and about 100 feet in diameter.
Really? Whew, that's
Oh,
a
it
lot
was
of trash.
huge. I have a beautiful photograph of it, Chuck. And I was there probably at 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and they were still bringing things in. There were trucks of Boy Scouts, Troop 195, 533, Cub Scout 506, 879, 812, and I believe there was a Girl Scout troop, number 14.
There was girls. There's more packs. There was 506, 504, 812, 860, and a few other.
60.
And there's Girl Scout troops were 1237, 175, 119, 122. I think that's it.
Now that was a lot of participating scouts, and Nancy Norris was the coordinator that helped you with this.
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
She's a member of the Chick Commission, isn't she?
Yes, ma'am. I couldn't have done it without her, that's for sure.
Yes.
She's really a real big help.
Well,
Did you find that, Mike, that the people all over Grand Prairie were really ready for your trucks to come by and pick up their stuff?
Yes, sir. We had about 125 pickups, I guess, just almost about like that. We had furniture. We had for a little while somebody called in and said they wanted a glider picked up, and we had all kinds of. I said I want to take that home, and we got out there and it was a swing.
That's a different kind of a glider. Yes,
different
there
kind of
is. Well, that's just wonderful.
Well, the bottom line is, Mike, did you do any good?
I hope we did. I enjoyed it a whole lot. It was a lot of work, but I liked it as an Eagle project, and I hope we did the city some good. And I like to say this, if anybody thinks that the Scouts do not do anything for Grand Prairie, every Eagle Scout that comes up has to do a community project. It won't pass unless Mr. Ziegler of the Advancement Committee passes it and says you can do it and signs a proposal for him. So I heard some pretty high people say one time that scouting hadn't done nothing for Grand Prairie, and it has done a lot.
Very good.
How
All
long
right.
does it take you to work?
I've been working on my Eagle project since I was 10 years old, approximately about 6 years.
About 6 years. And
Just
how
working
much
up to-
longer will it be before you know, Mike?
Hopefully September.
It'll be until September. Well, I noticed that when I went by the Bowles home on Northeast 28th Street, that there were a lot of scouts down in that area. Did you have a special project to clean up at the Bowles Park or something?
Yes, we had a few Cub Scouts cleaning up there.
Well, now that's our territory. That's our historic home, Chuck. The Bowles home is located there, and that is a special commendation to the scouts when you clean up a historic site. We give you double brownie points and scout points and campfire points and anything when you take care of a historic site or especially a cemetery, and we have many projects like that.
That's
Chuck?
right. Ruthie, I just want to say we're proud of the Scouts here in Grand Prairie, and we want to see Mike Holbrook as our next Eagle Scout for Grand Prairie, okay? And
Yeah.
all you movers and shakers out there in Grand Prairie that are watching, you big people that do lots of good things for Grand Prairie, don't you ever forget that we got the Boy Scouts working hard for better Grand Prairie.
Chuck, I think we ought to have a scout salute, and we also ought to have a round of applause for Mrs. Holbrook, who is in our audience out here, and she was out there doing all of this. I saw her at the park working and supervising and feeding kids cookies and cold drinks and things. Let's do our scout salute and then a round of applause for all of them, shall we?
Here we go.
And we'll be right back. Our last two guests are from South Grand Prairie High School, Roger Ohatha, and from Grand Prairie High School, Ellen Finley. And while they're getting their mind together to talk with you about a recent trip that they took to Austin, Texas with the Chamber of Commerce. And it was a delightful experience for all of us, and I hope that they'll be able to tell you how exciting it was to go to Austin to meet the governor, to meet the lieutenant governor, the commissioner of education, their state representative, and go all over Austin in a few hours. Ellen, would you like to be the first one to talk with us just a little bit about that?
Well, some of the things I enjoyed were meeting the governor. That was very exciting. And I also liked looking in on the House of Representatives. It was kind of chaotic. It was really surprising that they ever got anything done, but they seemed to. But it was really a fun trip.
Wonderful. Roger, what was your impression of going to the state capitol and visiting with all the dignitaries?
It was very nice. I really enjoyed meeting the governor. You know, that was probably the highlight of my evening. And, you know, just getting everything done in that short time, we really had a busy schedule, you know, but meeting the governor and then the assistant governor and then also seeing the commissioner of education was real nice.
That was a very splendid interview that he gave to the students, and I thought we got a real special insight to the Commissioner of Education, because I had never heard him speak on such an intimate basis about his life, his historical background, and all of this, and it was wonderful for you all, I know. Well, would you like to look out into the camera and maybe, Roger, just tell them how important it is to be aware of the things that are going on in Austin?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Well, the main thing is, understanding the government and how it works. We were out there, and like Ellen said, we saw the House of Representatives in session and everything. And it really was confusing. We sat there for about 5 or 10 minutes, listened to them, and some of the speakers would just come up and interrupt the other while one was speaking, but somehow they get everything done the way they're supposed to, so I guess it works out just fine.
Yes, and Ellen, would you like to tell us maybe your final impression of the day and what it meant to you to go to Austin?
Well, it meant a lot to me. I really enjoyed learning about the government, and it was just really an enjoyable day and a learning experience.
Well, now, do either one of you have any political aspirations after you've gone through all of this activity, maybe for political office in the future? If so, you just keep watching. It's happening in Grand Prairie, and one of these days we may have a state representative or a school board member or a mayor or some political entity in the future of these two very lovely young people that accompanied the Chamber of Commerce on the trip to Austin last week. And this is Ruthie Jackson with the Chamber of Commerce reminding you that it is happening in Grand Prairie.